honoring humanitarian workers who place premium importance on saving lives at the expense of their own is a recognition of the unsung heroes dedicated to the welfare of victims of armed conflict and disasters. In Nigeria, humanitarian work focuses on addressing the needs of the vulnerable population affected by conflict, displacement, and natural disasters, providing emergency response healthcare needs for victims even in clear and present danger to their lives, promote peace, rebuild infrastructure, and disaster preparedness. So in Panorama today, we will take a look at humanitarian work in Nigerian communities in the face of flooding and conflict, from new challenges to prospects for humanitarian workers. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed right on the screen. I am Adeola Komiakere. Thank you for joining us. The 2025 National Summit, organized by the Integrity Group, has ended in Abuja with a call on Nigerians to continue promoting the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a means of deepening reforms and consolidating on the current administration's achievements. Dennis Temple reports that the Integrity Group is one of the support groups of the All Progressives Congress APC.
Facts, renewed hope for continuity. The high-level summit convened in Abuja brought together stakeholders from across Nigeria's political and development landscape, from all 36 states and the FCT, for All Progressive Congress, and private sector came to reflect, to strategize, and to engage. The agenda is very simple: national development priorities, economic reform strategies, and strengthening structures of good governance.
We stand as a group on integrity. I crave your indulgence, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, to take a minute or two to pray for our country, to pray for our president, to ask for those that are in authority, because that's what the Bible says.
The country economy has been stabilized. What we are now looking at is the next stage. How do we now bring the dividends of the stability of the economy to ameliorate the sufferings of the people?
The market has stabilized. Food commodities and prices have coming down. I'm not saying that they're still where they're supposed to be, but the CNG buses and the taxis and the keke napep are there. But the unfortunate thing is that instead of Nigerians to be patriotic, to help common Nigerians, when they find an opportunity, they cash out.
Dr. Oke Dawani, like many at the summit, pointed to early signs of measurable progress under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, saying a policy framework that is still evolving is already gaining traction.
The Renewed Hope Initiative is on the right direction. People in my hometown have been from the Renewed Hope Initiative programs. Everybody is feeling the impact. Even the coppers, they can testify.
He's bringing back hope. He's taking the bull by the horn. He's not referring to issues in the past or how the past was governed. He promised Nigerians that he will come to the saddle and take responsibility. That he has done.
The summit acknowledged efforts by the administration in tackling persistent challenges, particularly in economic recovery. One of the key moments was the official unveiling of a summary compendium. As Nigeria continues to navigate its economic and social terrain, forums like this, they say, reflect a growing consensus that sustained reform and unified political will are essential for long-term progress. In Abuja, Dennis Temple, NTA News.
Individuals and organizations through this year's Humanitarian Day are uniting to support aid workers, driven by the theme strengthening global solidarity and empowering local communities to enhance disaster response, access to essential services, and to save lives. Adejoke Odeka will tell us more.
I didn't know what happened. Before I knew it, I was shivering. Thank God for them.
For every war or disaster that happens in the world, there's always a person or a team around to cushion the effect on human lives. They are called humanitarians, the unsung heroes who bring hope and relief to those in desperate need. Now, imagine a world without them in existence.
Oh, a world without humanitarian workers will be a very dark, bleak world.
They should be around us because not everybody now that can afford hospital.
Despite their vital contributions, humanitarians face daunting challenges, including attacks, funding constraints, and impact of climate change. However, experts say strengthening protection and securing sustainable funding can help mitigate some of these challenges.
Local communities can actively participate in humanitarian activities by also providing, their skills, providing resources. They put themselves at great risk, personal risk, to serve vulnerable members of the society.
We as citizens or individuals, be it in our mosques, in our churches, in our market areas, we need to always be creating that awareness and to also participate in the act of ensuring that most of these challenges are addressed.
Experts are also of the opinion that by promoting safety, ensuring security, and sustaining funding, local and international communities can empower aid workers to continue saving lives. Their work is a testament to the power of compassion and the importance of standing in solidarity with those in need. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And so as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the World Humanitarian Day, I have with me Kunle Lasose. He will be throwing more light on humanitarian work in Nigeria, challenges and prospects. He is of the Nigerian Red Cross Society. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, now, humanitarian work in Nigeria, so far so good, I guess. Let's have a brief, recap on it.
Well, I can say humanitarian work in Nigeria has suffered a little setback in recent time. I think this is a result of probably what fund that formerly has been there available, and maybe as a result of the pronouncement of United States President that caused about this reduction in funding. And I think it's a time to call on the organizations, business organizations that are in this country, to focus more on how to support these humanitarian actors and the organizations also, so that they can reach out to lots of people who are in need of aids and support, so that this can be promptly done, because that's just the essence.
Okay, now we're focusing on, flooding. Flooding has produced, a lot of victims across the country. Even NIMET are advising people at low-prone areas, to go to highlands to avoid flooding. Now, what are humanitarian workers' contribution to complement government effort, especially in the area of displacement and health?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like in Red Cross, what we do is to promote early warning sign. We educate the community where we reside, because for Red Cross, for example, we have Red Cross in all the local government and the wards. So we go to communities that are prone to flooding. We teach them what we call early warning sign, so that once there is a signal and there is an information that it's going to be heavy flooding, it is expected of them to take some action. And aside that, this community also has their own signs, what they observe, and to let them know that, okay, the rain is going to be very hectic, or the period at which this happened. Although the climate change has actually affected all this, and despite we, in Red Cross, we always engage in early warning sign. At the same time, we are in partnership with the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, who have been doing a lot, because the government of Lagos State has invested so much on emergency, and we've been collaborating and been having a series of meetings, planning on how to support the community when such things happen. And oftentimes, recently we just had a simulation at Agboyi community, Agboyi 123, and all the emergency actors are actually there. We have LASEMA, we have NEMA, we have Nigerian Navy, and we have the the civil defense, we have neighborhood, we have lots of organizations who were present there. And what we did was to build the resilience of this community. Okay. Should there be any kind of flood, what will you do? Okay. How will you be able to cope? How will you be able to manage yourself? Okay. And once you know the right action to take, it will be easier for a lot of lives to be saved and property also rescued. So this simulation was done so that they can know that peradventure, this is coming to happen. They know the right steps to take.
Okay, now, apart from the sensitization in communities, what other, advice do you give to them there concerning the drains and everything?
We observe that most of the problem in Lagos, when it comes to flooding, is as a result of carelessness, and they are man-made. So they need to take good care of the drainages. I want to actually, this time around, applaud the Community Development Association, because they are actively involved in this exercise, and they need to keep promoting a clean drainage, and Waste Management Agency also need to intensify the effort in
proper waste
disposal,
right.
So that they know what to do, and once it's done, then the waste can be dislodged.
Okay, let's move on now. Internally displaced persons, when they get into camp, what are their urgent to subsequent needs? Can you elaborate on that briefly?
Yes, their urgent need, number one, is food, then medical. Food, medical, and water, and because this is very important.
And where does shelter come in here?
Automatically, the moment
they
are moved out of the affected place, they have been moved to a safe place where security is also guaranteed. Then now, what is next? They need to feel their tummy. They need to feel good, and that is when food comes in. Once shelter is provided, then food comes in.
So everybody that comes into that shelter, they are really sheltered, not that some are sleeping on the ground, others on the bed, or just on the mat outside.
Yes, it depends on the resources available. And what we have been doing in the Red Cross is to kind of do what we call stocking. We don't need to wait until there's a major emergency. And what we do is preparedness. During the preparedness, all these things are there's been an assessment before the time, and the moment this comes, the available materials are taken to the field. Okay. Then, during this period, we know that more things are needed depending on the size of the emergency. Then, other partners come on board. Take, for example, it's a major disaster because the government take charge, and Red Cross also work with them with other emergency organizations, depending on their strength, and we all come together to
make it work. All right, now, so how can, synergy between NGOs, humanitarian workers, and government-established, emergency agencies be much more firmer than what you just explained?
Yeah, I think there is need for more coordination meeting. Okay. There is need for periodic meeting, and at the same time, to map out the strength of each organization. Everyone has a role to play. If you look at Red Cross, for example, we are emergency responders. When an emergency comes, we equally give psychosocial support. And luckily, good partners or donors so much are very relaxed when it comes to extending donation to the Red Cross. So we have our own strength. There are other organizations that have their own strength. And when we map out the strength of each organization, we equally look at the challenges they have, and we see how we can equally help each other so that when the time comes, we can act better and faster.
All right. Now, in communities, across Nigeria, what are the frequent, developments that often, require humanitarian aid?
I will say health is a major issue. Because once there's a project called WASH, Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, if a good number of communities can be sensitive to this, I think it's going to map out or reduce the rate at which epidemics occur, and the moment it occurs, already they are living a life that is sensitive to how to deal with it. And there is a clean water, you are very sensitive of your hygiene, you wash your hands frequently, you are mindful of how to cover your mouth, your nose, and all those things. And if the community has all this information, and also getting potable water, because once there's no potable water, the problem becomes huge and it's bigger. And the moment the community knows what to do, it's easier for them to get out of any form of emergency.
Okay, we know that aid workers, in the face of danger, they put their lives out there to, save other people. And now I want your, final thoughts on how to encourage more people to become aid workers in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Take, for example, if you want to join, be an aid worker, for example, in the Red Cross, you need to undergo a lot of training, first aid training. At the same time, there's what we call Safer Access Framework. This is a training that actually teach you how to navigate when there's emergency, especially when it's an armed conflict. If you are trained, certificates will be issued, and if you are not trained, we don't allow you to go on such assignment.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. As part of the training you give to these people, there's being fearless, is a part of it. Do you teach them how to be strong, how to be fearless?
Yes, we before you go on the field, we actually do briefing. And when you come back after the whole thing, we do the briefing. We get you out of the scene. Because as a matter of fact, I can remember many years back, during the June 12th crisis, I was so young then, and I was part of the people responding. And one beautiful thing I discovered was that the so-called boys on the street and the military guys also, they are very knowledgeable about what Red Cross or who they are and what they are doing. Somewhere along the bridge that led to Yaba, they were gunshot at somewhere toward our direction. When they spotted our insignia, they stopped and they waved at us. So they crossed.
So they are enlightened.
They are enlightened.
They know that they should protect aid workers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kunle Lasisi, for your thoughts on World Humanitarian Day as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark this day. And we hope that more people will join the Nigerian Red Cross to offer aid to the needy. It's time for us to take a break. Panorama will continue shortly. About ongoing road projects, including projected bridge rehabilitation works in Lagos, has been described as a mischievous write-up to misinform Nigerians by the Minister of Works, David Umahi. He made the statement during an on-the-spot assessment of works at the Coastal Highway. Larry Bilei has details.
David Umahi stated that his presentation at the recent Federal Executive Council meeting concerning both the Third Mainland and Carter bridges lower deck, which has experienced considerable deterioration due to marine corrosion and illegal sand dredging that is exposing the piers under the water, is just an account of present status of the bridges, which the structural engineers gave. Through thorough investigation, insisting that no award for the bridges has been given.
So no approval has been given for any of them. We needed approval from the Federal Executive Council for constructive engagement. So when people say that we say they should approve this, there's nothing like that. We've not presented any figure for approval. We are giving them the idea of what Juno Beja said, and we say, listen, we don't trust that figure.
Earlier, the minister reacted to publication online about the 750 legacy project. The online publication says that the project hasn't any drainage.
Social media starts to fly that, there's no drainage. This is the only project in the whole country where you have 750 kilometers of route, and you have 750 times 2 of underground drainage, all true. So what was in the social media was very misleading.
The minister states that intermittent showcasing of the level of work done to Nigerians will be taken seriously, which of course will go a long way to check misinformation and enlighten the people on government's intent of making sure its socio-economic and infrastructural commitment to Nigerians is on course. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
Nigerians have been encouraged to key into the various opportunities made possible by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope initiative in various sectors of the economy. These were the views of different speakers during the sensitization campaign of two-year administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, organized by Federal Information Resource Center, Calabar, Cross River State, South-South Zonal Headquarters. Paul Abel reports.
Though some of the reform policies of President Bola Tinubu may bring temporary discomfort, but has long-term benefits to the nation. This is the reason head of the Center, Federal Information Resource Center, Calabar, Jane Dakum, represented, highlights some of the measures by President Tinubu to cushion the removal of fuel subsidy, to include expansion of social support to 15 million households on conditional cash transfer, 1 million small businesses receiving nano grants, and revenue generation. Other milestones recorded in the South-South include infrastructure, Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, healthcare access, energy and oil sector reform, among others.
There will be crackdown on illegal oil bunkering and investment in modular refineries to harness our region's resources.
There were other presentations on economic diversification and local content creation, how to access student loan scheme, NELFON, among others, as well as experience sharing by beneficiaries.
We now understand to utilize the student loan application system to streamline the processing and disbursement of student loans.
Creative innovations to young persons. We've actually made programs and initiatives who have made young persons become entrepreneurs.
Compressed natural gas is a strong component that will bring about sustainable industrialization.
This government is a good government, and I've been a partaker of it, and you should just hope that better things are coming from the president.
There was also a discussion section where questions and answers on the benefits of accessing various federal government programs and grants and the flexible payment plans were brought to bear. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Next in Panorama Sports Update, Olumide Gutola is our guide.
Nigeria's D Tigers will face West African rival Senegal in a highly anticipated quarter-final showdown at the 2025 FIBA Afrobasket after the Lions sealed their place with a hard-fought playoff victory over South Sudan, 78-65. Nigeria head into the clash after sweeping their group with 3 straight victories, including 99-90 victory over Cameroon. Nigeria vs Senegal quarter-final clash is scheduled for Wednesday. In football, Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles face a decisive test against Congo in their final group stage match at the ongoing African Nations Championship CHAN Tuesday. The Eritrean Eagles are going to the contest under intense pressure after back-to-back defeats to Senegal and Sudan, which have left them rooted to the bottom of Group B. Meanwhile, Congo remains unbeaten after 2 consecutive draws.
This is the time for this guy. They need to show their quality and not the bad things.
In another development, in one of the largest youth gymnastic meets in Southern Africa, Team Nigeria, which includes NLNGRA and TIG International Club, excelled at the Centurion Gymnastics Center Club competition. Oluwapelu Milesami of NLNGRA won gold, describing her victory as a dream come true. Team TIG also won 2 gold, 5 silver and a bronze medal at the event.
I'm very happy and shocked that I won. The kids did so well. Ayobami and Juan, they did so well. I am truly very grateful to NLNGRA Club.
In another news, Nigeria wins 6 more gold medals at the 2025 African Junior Youth Weightlifting Championship Monday evening in Accra, Ghana. Florence Olaniyi won the 6 gold medals for Nigeria in the 58 kg female category. Her feat brings Nigeria's total number of medals at the championship to 8 gold and a silver. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And that's Panorama from the Lagos Network Center of the NTA. Thank you for being a part of it. I am Adeola Komiakere. Enjoy the rest of the day.